starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello good people, wherever you're watching us from, this is KRT, and of course hapa ndo tunapiga story vile iko without filters. We have a very interesting topic today yenye ni religion and specifically Christianity yenye tuko most conversant with, and we are going to dissect into knowing our spiritual fathers. How well do you know yours? Although wengine wanasema kuita mtu spiritual father mwenye si Mungu si vizuri. What's your take? My name is Steave Momanyi. I'm joined here with my friend and colleague. Your name, please?
Yes, I'm Jevas Obutu.
Yes.
And I'm a Christian. I'm a good man. I'm faithful. I'm all good things you might think of.
This guy is faithful. That is from him. Kutoka kwa horse's mouth. And of course, vile tumesema tuna discuss Christianity or religion as a whole, but specifically today, with me, I'm conversant and comfortable with talking about Christianity kwa sababu I'm a Christian. So, what's religion, my brother?
Religion is basically having faith, absolute faith to something, and consequently, you're worshiping that.
All right.
Yeah, and that becomes your God.
That becomes your God.
Yeah, that's religion.
Sawa. So, bringing it down to Christianity as one of the religions we have in the world, right?
Yeah.
We are in a very Christian environment. Na sijui kama kivyako, would you say that Christianity, does it make sense when we try to, we said we are not going to have filters, na tutaki kuogopa kudiscuss, because we are here to understand Christianity or religion, because there is a lot happening around this. There is a lot of business and we need to know. Hata the Bible inasema kutakuwa na nabii wa uongo. So we want to know lest we fall victims. So do you think Christianity inakuwa practiced correctly? Kwa sababu there are so many denominations within. Why is it that we don't have unity? We don't look like one picture in Christianity?
I would say religion, specifically Christianity, is a very beautiful religion. Mm-hmm. But now the problem comes when we introduce denominations. Mm-hmm. Now that is where the main problem comes in.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you realize, like recently it's still ongoing. We've had a very serious accusation of a pastor or a man of God in quotes, leading people into starving and dying in the name of fasting, and then he's selling a doctrine saying that, when you're going to die, you're going to see Christ.
Yes.
And then he'll do that as the last person. So meanwhile, as you're starving and dying, he's eating and waiting so that you can die, so that you can starve and die. It's really weird. It's weird,
and it's something I would say ugly that is happening in the Christian world. Yeah. I don't know. I could say Christianity again is religion is some form of radicalization. Like you strongly believe with the absolute in something to an extent that if you can hurt yourself, your physical self, and probably get to death because you want to get to another level that you've been made to believe. Like Mackenzie, I think the Mackenzie you are talking about, makes those are allegations so far. Yeah. Makes people believe that they can, if they fast and die during that process, they'll get to meet Jesus. And in Muslim world, I've heard, I don't know whether it's true, that watu hujitolea muhanga. Kuna vitu inaitwa holy war, like vita takatifu, vitu kama hizo. If you die in the process, you will see God, you will go to the Mecca. Where are we? Is it that people are using Christianity wrongly? They are brainwashing people and radicalizing people using religion? Or is it that kuna vitu hatujaelewa about Mungu? And what's the true source of information about Christianity?
I wouldn't say that people are using Christianity wrongly. I would say that people are understanding Christianity wrongly, and this is just hidden in plain sight. The Bible says that my people have been lost because of
lack of information,
lack of knowledge, right?
Lack of knowledge, yes.
how do you seek knowledge? Is by reading the holy book, right? So you wait for your pastor who you believe ameenda akakusomea, and then anakuja kukutranslatea. Sawa?
Yes.
So anakuambia ukifast for 40 days because Jesus did it. You don't know under which circumstance Jesus did it.
Yes.
And you are forgetting that Jesus was 100% human, 100% supernatural, right? And sasa where you are 100% human, you forget that part, and then you go fasting, and then you die. You get? Now, with same thing with Muslims. I was listening to a Muslim clergy, and he said that this thing of kujitolea mwanga and dying, it's also the same thing kama sisi. This is Muslim is a very beautiful religion according to him, but sasa kuna watu wenye wanai practice wrongly, just the same way Christianity is beautiful na kuna watu wanai practice wrongly. So I think that part of not studying the Bible and not studying the Quran properly, that is where we get confused.
Yeah, you mentioned something that I'm purely interested in, like the source of information in the Bible, but now watu wameanza kuamini their pastors or leaders kuwasomea, and they come tell us stuff, wanatu preach here, and there are doctrines that you cannot directly find in the Bible zenye zina govern these denominations. So how do we get to detach the pastor or whoever is telling me things about God from the Bible? How do we get to detach? And why are our people so lazy? I don't know. I've been brought up in Christianity. I know if you tell me something, I will tell you that's not from the Bible. Is it that our people are lazy? They don't read the book, or they overtrust? They overtrust that this pastor or spiritual father can have some revelation that is new, not from the Bible, yenye maybe ni updated sana mpaka anaweza niambia just fast mpaka ukufe. Or worse still, kuna wenye wanaambiwa toa mbegu ya 5,000 ubarikiwe. Is it that watu wako lazy, hawajui the principles found in the Bible about being blessed, about fasting, about believing in God, ama ni nini inafanyika?
God is found in the church, and God is not also found in the church. I think that's what people don't understand. What do I mean? Before you start seeking God, in the church, seek God within you, right?
Yes.
And the fact that you start believing, at first, like if I go to church, I'll kujua about God, and that is very, very, very true. But it's not absolute truth.
Yes.
In you, hata we sahi tumeshoot hapa tukiacha, and there's a nice camera here, there's something will tell you si utoe kakada hapo, and another thing will tell you usitoe. So what does it tell you? A human being is born into two spirits. There is the evil spirit and there is the Holy Spirit. So what does that tell you? And if you read also the Bible so well, I think every person is assigned an angel.
Yeah.
So as you're walking, as you're doing whatever that you're doing, there is a presence of God in you or with you. Right?
Yes.
But now, the fact that you start believing that if I go to church, I'll get God, that in itself is wrong. And that is in itself is just misinformation. Because you can have pure intentions, you land kwa kanisa ya Mackenzie. That's how.
Yes.
So the first thing, they say that the distance between you and God is the same distance as the floor and your knees. So basically, if you kneel down and pray, God will reveal himself to you. But if you go to church, you might land kwa kanisa ambayo ni mbaya, and by the time you learn about it, you are in Mackenzie's graves, and you are not really going to heaven, I doubt.
All right, and something else, Jevas. The pastors have gone a notch higher, like not only Mackenzie. The pastors, especially in Kenya, we have so many churches, and one is different to another. There is a slight difference, but you realize most of the churches in Kenya and probably in Africa, they preach the gospel of prosperity. And we are living in hard times, economic times, economic mbaya worldwide. And we want good things to ourselves. And the pastors, that's what they preach day in, day out. You tune in, kuna more religious TV stations than any TVs dealing with any other collective. And is it that people are desperate for prosperity or a better life, that and the pastors have found business in that, or is it that that beat in the Bible which says seek ye the kingdom first and everything will be provided to you, haina maana tena na pastors? Besides that, the Bible says mtawajua kwa matunda yao. When Jesus was asked by the disciples, tutawajuaje, they were false prophets, at you'll know them through by their fruits. So where is the balance, or how do we identify, or is it that we don't care anymore? Is it the lack of knowledge still? Because I don't think it takes a staunch or a learned theologist to tell you to know that verse that seek ye the kingdom first.
First of all, we live in a very tough economic times, whereby, you know, somebody is playing a lottery and somebody is going to church and giving offering with hopes that it will be turned into a fortune. That the same people. The devil gives luck, God blesses. And once you understand that, you start realizing that many religions are practiced differently. Secondly, the work of Satan. You know, I'm not saying this come a pastor or something. I think this is out of, you know, some things are out of common sense. If I say it circularly, some things if it unaangalia. The devil does everything in an opposite way. Ama anaweza kuambia 99% truth and then give you 1% lie. Right? Even ukisoma story ya Genesis, bila the devil anaambia Mungu, anaambia Eve. Yeah, Jesus.
Alitry Jesus pia, alimwambia ruka.
Yeah, but in the Garden of Eden there was the two.
Yes.
So that tells you something. Alimwambia kila kitu ya ukweli, but akamwambia ukikula hili tunda utaishi forever. 99% of what he said was true, the 1% was wrong, and that made the whole thing wrong. Kazi ya the devil is to alter the truth. For example, seek first the kingdom of heaven and all the rest shall be added unto you, right? Now he twists. Let the rest be added unto you, and then seek the kingdom of
heaven.
God is not in the business of barter trade, whereby you're giving me your 500, then I'm going to multiply it and give you 50,000. Sawa sawa. The same people who are telling you that peana, Mungu atakufanya nini? Mungu atakubariki multiple times. It is true. But now when it comes for them to have cars to drive, they tell you toa. So where is the lie? Now when they talk of fruits, those are the fruits. Amemaliza kuambia je, give your 5,000, give your 50 shillings, utakuwa blessed. Itakuja multiple times. Si ndio? Mshatoa mmemaliza. Sasa anakuambia pastor anataka aike gari mafuta. Toa pesa. Why can't he be praying as he goes home?
Oh yeah.
And then the tank will become full. Or by some chance mtu ampata amwambie pastor wacha nikuwekea mafuta. So these people will preach.
A good question, that do pastors by they do give offerings? Yeah, people pay not tithe.
You know, it goes down to principalities and policies of a dominion. It's not even a religion now, because Christianity is a religion that has thousands of denominations. What makes denominations? It's doctrines, principles, right? If you go to Adventists are Christians, but they are Protestants.
That's true.
Right?
We will come down to every denomination, and the funny thing is that every denomination feels superior or more belonging than the other.
Yeah.
You said something about what did you say about pastors? There's something you said, but it escaped my mind.
Yeah, you'll give them money and they pray for a miracle for you.
Yes.
But when they need fuel, they don't want a miracle. They want your money.
For a follower to be blessed, they need to tithe and wapeane wapate muujiza. But when pastor needs money, they will always need to be given direct from the follower. It is a twisted kind of story. So before we go to a break, I'd like to mention these. The pastors, the pastors have made it. Let me see. The pastors have made it like they are. They teach the gospel. They teach the gospel. They teach the gospel selectively to fit what they want to achieve with their congregation. Like there is somewhere in the Bible, for example, it says, sadaka ya mwenye dhambi ni maudhi kwa Mungu. I know the verses, but I cannot, like, I don't cram verses. Mimi sile wa cram ni kuambia ni verse flat, but today with the technology, if you type that the offering of a sinner is abuse to God, you can find the verse. So why is it that they are more interested in making people give rather than making them even first fit before God, so that their sadaka can be accepted? And if this sadaka is being given to Jesus or to God, why does it not matter where it comes from? Because sababu pia kuna principles za wewe kuwa holy enough or fit enough to even tithe.
Because it's a business.
Because it's down to business.
It's a business. You know, if I know I'm stealing from you, why would I tell you the truth? You know, there's a story umesikia in Nairobi. Mtu anakuonyesha hii simu, anakuambia si unaona inafanya, hebu swipe, si inafanya kila kitu, unajua hapa Nairobi, na nikipata wanakuuzia hivi kanjo watanishika, anarudisha kwa mfuko, anakuambia wewe nigawie pesa. Unajua hii simu mpya ni 30,000, mimi nataka kuuzia 10,000 pekee. Ati niko na 8,000 mbaki. Haya
leta.
Anakupea simu. So by the time unafika home, una realize that ni matope amekuzia, there is no phone. So kumbe vile alingisha hapa akatoa akakupea matope. So that blind spot of returning the phone and giving you, just switching the phone is also a typical example of what happens in the church. They know the right thing they should tell you. So akikupea ile matope finye ni matope, utampea pesa. So the moment atakwambia that your sadaka is not really, you know, important, I need to teach you ways of tithing, I need to teach you ways of offering. Akikufunza hivyo utampea do.
Autampa.
Yes.
And they are not interested in you getting saved, they are interested in getting money from
because
you.
Once you know, uko kama inaitwaje, uko rehab yenye you are not allowed to leave. They'll teach you alcohol is bad, and by they tell you can take. So it's a cycle. So they wouldn't tell you the truth, and there's a probability that they also don't know the truth.
Oh yeah, there's a probability, or they don't care about the truth. They don't know and they don't care. Now I would like us to scale down to denominations and the differences between them, and later we'll talk about the legal policies on religion and the starting religions, especially in Kenya. Now that we have a very sad and weird story that sounds like a horror, that through religion hundreds and hundreds of bodies have been found in Shakahola, some forest. Because they were meant to, some information say that from the pathologists, the government pathologists say that some were suffocated to death, some died out of starvation, but it's religion related. That is a denomination that preaches that way. And even the guy, Mackenzie, I've seen his videos, at some point he was preaching against going to hospital, the hospitals, the modern hospitals that we know, teaching against going to schools. And there are religions like, say, Catholic, which is one of the oldest religions. They also have they have their good, they have their positive, but it's the same religion which is against what we could call African values. and the values that we would say some of us would consider more Christian, like those I have seen the Pope, I don't know, the Pope or some senior leadership in the Catholic saying it is okay for same gender marriages. We have other denominations like SDA and so many of them in the Pentecostal group. Why do you think, what inspires more and more denominations coming and even churches coming, and what do you think we as Kenyans or civilians use to identify ourselves with one religion? Or what, yes, which criteria do we use? You yourself, whichever denomination you belong to, which criteria did you use?
Oh, good. Maybe I know, like for the first half I have like 30 seconds or 1 minute. Let me say this real quick. We
can finish that point and then we'll go to a break. Just exhaust it.
There are two sides of the story, but there is one background story. Yeah, in everything.
Yes.
So actually, people think like there's three stories in everything. If we fight inside this room, there is my story, there is your story, and there is a background story. We have what we call facts, right? And we have the truth. So,
yes.
Facts are evidence that is supported by things that you can even touch. It's basically evidence that you can see. It's proof. But the truth is something that you need to believe. For example, you've never met God, you don't know how he looks, but you believe. So faith is having just absolute belief in something that you don't see. And sometimes you cannot even prove it.
Yeah.
Right? For example, you have faith that you're going home, right? But that's not a fact. You see?
Yes.
So you've asked a question of what is motivating many denominations coming up, right? It's because it's a business. Right?
Yes.
So once the Shakahola 200 or the Shakahola 1,000 or 100 are butchered, somebody is coming with another cult that is against Mackenzie. Yeah?
Yes.
And tell people that you don't have to fast. It is evil, didn't you see? But the truth is, you can fast, but how far can you fast? So another cult will come up out of Mackenzie, another Protestant will come up out of the Mackenzie ideology, right? So basically, what motivates this denomination is secret agendas, business, and relevance. Because there are even kings, because they needed protection, they came up with religion. Yeah, the church is called after kings. Kings who murdered people and did all this stuff. But because they needed relevance, they came up with church for political correctness. And that happens a lot.
Wow. I don't know whether we are supposed to go to a break, but I hope we can still continue. And as we go on with this, we understand that the clergy or church has a lot to do as far as government and leadership and political affairs are concerned in this country, Kenya. The church has a big role that is playing, and as well the government has a role to play in the church, whether we like it or not. We have seen the government meddle or not even meddle, associate or lean towards one denomination than the other. What do you think of the government or legal policies of starting churches in Kenya, and should there be control of some sort?
I think that is one of the hardest things, or the hardest question anyone can be asked, because do you believe kuna wachawi?
Definitely, yes.
Now, umaisikia mtu ameuawa na ni mchawi alimuua. Right?
Yeah, umaisikia hizo story.
Why don't you go to court?
Because these spiritual matters, you may not be able to prove them in court.
Because the secular world believes in facts. The court wants factual evidence. For example, CCTV, letter, audio recording, akiplan.
Witness.
Spiritual matters are beyond facts. You know, I believe that as we are talking, the devil is present inside here and God is present inside here. But where is the fact that wako hapo? You know? So what am I trying to say? We have bodies that regulate religion and denominations. But again, I mean, how do you even vet these people? Because if I'm an SDA seated here, I believe wewe Catholic, you're very wrong. Nyinyi mko na misana mingi sana kwa kanisa yenu. Another PhD guy, you know, is looking at me and saying, nyinyi wa SDA mko kama Waislamu, yo mwezi ambia mtu apone. Amuna hewa, you are not spiritual. Amuna moika, you know, some pressure is missing in you. A Muslim will sit here and say, you know, you are the same people, munaenda kanisa kufanya biashara. So unapata tumepimana. What does it mean? The standards will be compromised because you want to accommodate, in this law you want to accommodate Muislamu, you want to accommodate Muadventista, you want to accommodate everyone. So at the end of the day, we will accept anything that associates with God. Sawa.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it boils down to an individual.
All right. As we finish, as we wind up, I would like to know, I've not seen it, I've never heard it being taught anywhere, that it's not, I don't think it's in the Bible, that people should close their eyes for them to pray. I've not heard that anywhere. Even the videos that we have seen of Jesus and even the Catholic do not mostly close their eyes, and they are the oldest religion that we know. And what is your take on that? Close your eyes, alafu unaekewa mikono. Is it something that also advances? Closing your eyes, mimi kivyangu najua ni, that's absolute, again, trust of your environment, that you don't have to see. Because anytime you feel danger, you'll respond by checking out your environment. Kwanza, una respond very fast. Now, in case you are very uncomfortable when you are closing your eyes, you'll open them. But closing my eyes means I'm very comfortable with wherever I am in with that room. And allowing people to put your hands on you, ukiwa umefunga macho. Do you think it is a technique just yenye ilikuwa improvised baadaye to keep radicalizing, keep brainwashing or doing things to people while they have no control over what's happening?
Let me give you a story. A friend of mine lost his wife, so tukaenda to the morgue, tukaenda kumuona.
Yeah.
So as we were entering, hizo mafridge, it's a big morgue. It's a referral hospital, so they have the biggest of machines. Zinatoa ile sauti. So you know these mortuaries, there are like some halls na hapa wameka hizo drawers za mali wameka mili. So as we were walking, the attendant akamwambia, simamia hapo, hizo mafridge ziko. Akafungua ile mwili, tukasimama. It's just a fair distance. Tukamwangalia cause ile draw ilikuwa like level ya tumbo yangu.
Waist.
So tukamwangalia and then we said sorry to the guy. So let's make a prayer before we leave. So before we started making a prayer, fridge zikazima. So tukaanza kuomba. 3/4 way, you know, it was total silence. It's a pin drop silence. Midway, zile fridge zikafunga. I opened my eyes and what do I meet?
The corpse.
The body. Looking at me, like it was one of the most awkward things that why do you close your eyes when you pray? One is, unajua unaweza kuwa obstructed naturally. For example, we are praying and then there is a beautiful woman before me. Sidhani kama ata concentrate. So the most basic reason why I close my eyes is to avoid myself from looking around and distracted. Reason number 2, when you close your eyes, is that you're giving absolute faith and you're being vulnerable to God, na unaamini kabisa kwamba ni Mungu. when you wakati macho yako imefunguka, I think there is a sense of doubting hapa kunaweza kuwa kunoma. You've seen a video of Muslims wakiomba and then wakasikia gunshots. Waliendelea tu kuomba. Why? Absolute believe that Allah kama ni risasi ataipusha.
That's the point. Does it mean that hivi ni kama imani yetu ama mwenye lazima afunge macho ndio connect na Mungu, ni imani iko chini to an extent that you cannot concentrate or connect to your to the person you're talking to. For example, nikiwa naongea kwa simu na kuongelesha uko mbali, sina kwanga nimefungua macho yangu but niko connected to you. Hata nikiangalia hivi bado niko. So that is so interesting that siwezi kwa.
Have you ever been in love?
Love, did you say?
Yes, have you ever been in love?
Yes, I've been in love.
And you're talking to your woman in the night.
Yes.
Unajipatanga umefunga macho and you're visualizing, right?
Mimi anytime kuna ko involved kufunga macho, I feel hapa kuna kuibiwa ama kuna kudanganywa.
No, I think that is the way tumefikiria, because tumeibiwa a lot when our eyes are closed and everything. But there is beauty in closing your eyes. Like I can tell you, ukienda in Europe, wakiandika 50 km/h, the drivers will obey. Come here in Africa, andika 50 km/h. The first thing that will be knocked down is that signage. You get that?
Yeah.
So, like I told you, what differentiates religions or rather denominations, ni doctrines.
Ni doctrines.
For example, tukiomba, it will be weird that, you know, your eyes are open. Just like you could cross over to the other religion and, you know, upate wana. Maybe there are those who pray wakifanya hivi.
Yeah.
Sasa tuseme uko ndani ya Catholic Church wanaomba, wewe uko, you look different.
Yeah.
So there is what labels you as a Catholic, there is what labels you as an Adventist. It's the simple practices in church. You get, kuna kanisa baada mnatoa sadaka at some point. Kuna kanisa wako na very early morning service, wakakuwa na mid morning service na saa 7. Adventist iko na mahubiri mara 2 ya watu, anahubiri hadi saa 7, watu wanaenda home, wanarudi saa 8, mahubiri mengi. So that is what makes SDA, and that is what makes Lutheran Church or something else makes Lutheran Church Lutheran. Unaona? So na mimi nikikuja na kanisa kangu lazima ni twist. Labda mimi niseme
na difference.
Siku ujaona wengine wanapiga wana twerk kwa kanisa, because that dance zote zimekuwa occupied. So I've come up with my religion.
Yeah.
Unafikiria hata unaangalia song ya Jamaica ina inspire mtu, anafungua religion yake, anasema sisi hapa hakuna kumatch kama SDA ama kupiga maululation kama Catholic, hapa ni kutwerk. Ukisikia umeshikwa, you know. Now that is not what we call denomination, because there's a lot of indoctrination and radicalization in the church. Simple practices too. Kuna kanisa pia watoi sadaka completely.
Yeah.
And you wonder hizi kanisa who funds them, you know, pia realistically. When I was growing up, nilikuwa nafikiri nikitoa sadaka inaenda mbinguni. Then when I became a teenager, I was asking myself, so inaendaje mbinguni by the way? And then I grew kidogo, nikaanza kuunderstand kuna vile kanisa inabaki na pesa kidogo, ingine wanatuma main conference, you know. And then nimekuwa sasa hii I'm realizing that actually kisikia mijengo mingi ya ujenzi, there's a church I know imechangiwa tangu niko mtoto paka saa hii. So it's like guys wa committee, they get broke, then they have an idea, wanakuja wanatangaza tupige mchango, you fund them. Mnanipata? So siku hizi ukikaa mjanja kama kanisa inajengwa, acha kupledge pesa, pledge simiti, pledge mabati, pledge nitakuja nifanya kazi.
Si watauza simiti
hapo sasa,
ama at least hiyo ni ngumu kidogo kuliko pesa.
Hapo itakuwa ngumu.
So kuna vitu sijui, I think it happens mostly in Africa. Unapata kuna vitu zenye personally from my judgment naona hii ni ujanja hapa tumechezwa. Kama there is a pastor from Zimbabwe or Zambia mwenye alifufua mtu the other day, like a year or 2 ago.
That is South Africa, I think.
It was South Africa. Mtu ameletwa mpaka wanaleta na coffin kuja kwa nini? Then anaguswa and then kuna theatrics kadhaa nimeona kwa church, kwa denominations kwa kadhaa, especially zina fall under the Pentecostal umbrella, zenye zinakaa tu outrightly unaona hii ni mchezo. Mtu anakuja na kupiga slaps, mwingine anasema anacheza ball na analeta football kwa altar. Anasema hebu cheza hii ball, mtu anakuja ati anasongeza hivi na anachengwa ati ni shetani vitu kadhaa zinafanywa zinakaa tu the acting, a bad comedy, lakini bado watu wana flock, hizo churches are full. What is happening? Hata kama basi hatuna uwezo wa kudiscern, hata akili tu kidogo hakuna.
Unajua watu wako job. Wewe ukiambiwa pastor anakuambia wewe nikiingia huko nikifanya ball hivi unaanguka ndakupiga thao. Na kuna mjengo unaambiwa piga kuanzia saa 2 hadi jioni 5 upigwe 500. Wewe utachagua gani?
Ya kuchengwa, lakini of the congregation.
I love people like the congregation. You know, we love entertainment. Now there is SDA that is very strict even in prayers. There is some order that is not as exciting. You know, human beings are, somebody at the midst of us having this conversation, somebody told us, can you
be more exciting?
Can you be more exciting? You understand?
Yes.
Human beings are dramatic in nature. So the moment unajua aje kuna show mahali, you are an artist.
Yes.
Ule mwalimu alikuwa anapiga drama kwa jokes, anapiga, that's the one you like. Sawa? So there are people wenye wanakuja wanaona hata nienda tu nione pasia kichenga huko, like ni entertainment full mzuka, alafu nirudi home. So nikirudi home then nitaomba. I mean pole Mungu, but nitarudi tu
Mungu ataelewa tu.
That is the live show. Na wase wako job, jobs are created.
But Jay, unasema watu wanaenda for entertainment, but these people ndo wale wanaaminishwa mpaka wanabeba. You realize even I'm sorry to say, but mostly women are easily lured into these nice talks and kind of preaching. Una realize wanaweza beba nyumba yako wauze vitu, wanaweza enda pale wa pledge vitu to the pastor, and then you realize wameleta pastor kwa nyumba na maji ya baraka na vitu kadhaa zinafanywa kwa nyumba yako. These people are not just going there for entertainment. Kuna watu wako pale wako na imani sana na hizo chenga zinapigwa huko.
Entertainment is expensive.
You have to pay for it.
I'm telling you, and I can assure you that you've been an actor.
Yeah.
You are still an actor.
I'm an actor.
There are roles that you may act zikakudrain emotionally.
Of course, a lot of them.
So what does that tell you? You cannot really separate so much for long. You cannot pretend for long. Because acting has a lot of pretense in it.
Yeah, acting
just for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it's pretending. It's so serious that you convince someone that you are that character. Yeah.
So I think unajua watu wengi by the way and hizi church, maybe ni mtu tu alikuwa anapita street akienda tu vitu zake. Then anasikiza anaona entertainment. Like I used to be an MC. So if you have an activation your product, the first thing you do ni kuleta wale madansa mngeke wa dance, then you pull the crowd. Then unawaambia tu kuna product mpya nini hii ndio best nini. So when you see this theatrics ni ku pull crowd. So akisha pull crowd, then you wanna deliver information. So the problem is they're delivering wrong information, and there is nothing more attractive kwa akili ya mtu like something that entertains them. We have a carnal mind. Hii ni akili hapa mbele yenye inavurutwa sana na drama na entertainment na excitement. Sawa. So these churches that ziko na a lot of theater, me I feel like it's a way of entertainment, but to the audience they package it in a way that you feel like because kila product ni kupackage.
Yeah.
Umeenda hoteli kubwa then unaletewa hii mayai tu yenye inakuwa fried na pana hapa. Wanaita sijui ni Spanish omelette. Kikuja inakuja na a very expensive plate that looks so nice. It's the same mayai just like the ya kibanda, then wanaweka hizo fork na knife hapo kando, wanakuletea serviette. Those big hotels they call it napkins. So ukienda kutafuta huko serviette itakosa kidogo. But these are same eggs, design zimeserviwa ni different. Yeah. So to me I feel like it's drama. They know what they're doing, because some of these people when you're brought into the church to reciprocate to theatrics ni watu wanalipo. Nobody mwenye anaenda huko mbele na again I dare anybody in the comment andike huko aje mimi na again nikienda huko mimi naendanga freely. All the people you see in the pulpit, if I have to call it, ni watu wenye wako on payroll. Kuna permanent employees huko,
kuna casual
na kuna casual, kuna watu wanaenda huko locum.
So tutafuta hizi biashara, tusiseme hakuna kazi Kenya.
Yeah, kuna job ni ile. This now will come with some consequences that you might not really like, because you're playing with a powerful deity. It's God mwenye amekuumba na unamjokia hapo mbele.
There's an economist, I think, anaitwa Karl Marx. Alikuwa anasema, he said that's very long time ago that Christianity, ama religion, is an opium for the masses, for the poor. Yani ni kama ni kitu ya ni painkiller ya kukwambia it's okay to be poor because the kingdom of heaven ina belong kwetu. And I think that is what is being practiced. That's what I see a lot. Unapata pastor and the leaders wanna fly high, and then the congregation, they are very poor, in abject poverty, and they are in every day they are believing or being told it's okay. Especially kuna Bible, kuna verse inasema kwa Bible, not blessed are the poor in spirit, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them, for they shall inherit the kingdom. But pastors hawasemangi blessed are the poor in spirit, wanasemanga blessed are the poor. So ukiangalia the difference between the pastors, the leaders, and the congregation ni kubwa. The gap is so big. But tuko hapa kila siku tunaambiwa nyota yako itafunguliwa, ama inafaa ifunguliwe kutoka mahali fulani. Is it that kila mtu hii dunia akona nyota imefungwa mahali, na ni nini inafunganga nyota, na what's happening, what's your take on nyota and the opium bit?
I like looking at things differently. You know, hizi stories za nyota imefungwa nini. God blesses, the devil gives luck. So the moment unasikia ni nyota, that's a different. God does not give stars, God gives blessings. God does not give luck, God gives blessing. The devil gives you luck. Sawa. So ukisikia unaenda kuchukua nyota, biashara yako inanawiri, that is the devil at work, because the moment you are not going to serve him, he will withdraw.
At least atawak na ile nyota ataichukua.
Jesus died for our sins, but with the devil you will always keep killing. You know, because he wants more and more and more and more. It is a give and take business, na Mungu is not in a business of give and take. Yeah, ndo maana mvua inanyesha kwako, mvua inanyesha kwangu. Jua inawaka kwako, jua inawaka kwangu. Hainyeshi kwako juu umepanda miti ama unaishi chini ya gorofa. It's not God's doing.
Oh wow. Yeah. So at the end of the day, already tuko na hizo blessings za Mungu ni na ziko mostly unapatanga zinakata cross, whether you are a sinner or believing in something else. It is something yenye hatuwezi explore tukamaliza. But at the end of the day, basically, when you swali kwa hapo chini imeuliza, how good do you know your spiritual father? Or how good do you know the denomination? What made you side with that and not the other one? Now, do you care about the Bible, which is the source of information about Christianity? Ama pastor akisema ashasema. In fact, to see we personally, in fact, I'm giving our parting shots. I'll do it and then you do it. Personally, I'm saying this: if you're not confident, if you're not, don't go blinding yourself to things, to people because they sound correct. Maybe unajua kuna kitu inaweza sound correct leo kwako, kwa sababu that is what you needed. Sometimes you need an accomplice maybe you are lazy, you don't want to do things the right way, and then someone shows up anakuambia in fact si lazima ukuange ati lazima ukujange church sana, so long as you send your mbegu itakurepresent. But the Bible doesn't say that. Na unaambiwa ati ukipanda utabarikiwa na utaona ufalme wa Mungu. You don't buy it. You cannot buy blessings from God. Why is it that inakaa ni kitu ngumu sisi kuelewa? Let's not follow people blindly. And at the end of the day tujipata Shakahola. Tujipata tuko familia zetu zimekuwa turned upside down kwa sababu ya kutrust just individuals who are out here to do business with our faith. Mimi kitu nasema ni take a moment, chunguza what your spiritual father stands for. Yes, Jay, you can go.
For me, I would say it's only through Jesus Christ that you will go to heaven. To me, these things of spiritual father, spiritual mother, these are brokers. Ni kama wale wanasimama huko wakitaka kwenda kununua ng'ombe, wanakuambia mimi ndio najua kuangalia ng'ombe. At the end of the day, they steal from you. Jesus is the only way, and he is the truth. Hao watu wengine tu ni kama waganga, so kwenye kuna shortcut to the devil. That's it.
You can tell them where they can find you on social platforms.
Unaweza nipata on Facebook. I'm more active on Facebook. Jevas Obutu. Ndani ya Twitter, I don't have much to write. I'm not a writer. Uncle J. On TikTok, Jevas Obutu. And pia unaweza nipata, I'm a human being.
Unaweza patikana physically.
Mimi sio nyota, niko.
That is, we have come to the end, and I encourage you, if you have something that you think you need to contribute to this show, you can, the next time I think tutakuwa tuna sample, tunakuangalia video zenyu. If you have you care to, you can do a video and tell us what you think about this topic tumekuwa nayo leo. You can even write to us through the numbers on your screen, and you can also follow me as Osoro the Actor on all social media platforms na pia Otter Studios. Until we see you again, take care.